Question 1. In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of your media products? Looking at cover layout, I noticed that music magazines typically have a generic layout, with a medium shot of an artist taking up most of the page and occasionally covering the masthead. For my magazine, I decided to challenge this to some extent by using a more unique layout. When producing my magazine cover, I have chosen a more creative layout. Although my main image features my cover artist, which is a typical convention that I have followed, the image itself is within a box and being contained from spilling out into the rest of the page. As the boxed-in image gives the page an element of neatness, I use the font for the masthead that looks messy and freehand, which juxtaposes this messy layout to the scribbled and handcrafted look of the masthead font. The types of magazines that inspired my cover layout weren't always in the same genre of music magazine. They were typically fashion, beauty, and lifestyle magazines. This is because a lot of the unique and creative layouts that are seen on magazine stands nowadays are not always in music magazines. They're instead found on other categories of publishing. This is an example of how I have challenged the conventions of music magazines, just by using the composition of my cover page. When looking at the colours that are typically used on music magazines, I saw lots of bright reds and yellows that contrast against a minimalist white background, with fairly saturated and orangey images. Throughout my magazine, I tried to use a consistent theme of colours, with pastels, pinks, purples, blues, and colours within this colour scheme throughout my text, my headings, and my images. To keep it consistent in my photography, I used Photoshop with the colour balance tool and the colour selective tool to bring out more pinks and more blues, which would match the text on the magazine page. I feel like this use of colour wouldn't be seen on a mainstream music magazine. I strive to maintain this artistic balance, so the person that picked up my magazine on a stand would appreciate the overall aesthetics rather than just picking it up because of a bright subtitle. Although a lot of the aspects of my magazine are unique, I feel that my media product has lots of similarities to existing published magazines. For example, the way that the masthead is large and bold in the upper section of the front cover is just like any other magazine that you'd see on the stands. As well as this, on my double page spread, the question and answer interview style of my article uses a layout that is in many other magazines. In my contents page as well, the way that the content of the magazine is numbered and listed in a very conventional style with a sans serif font is also a similarity to normal magazines. Going back to my cover page, most of the writing on the front cover is condensed onto the left side. This reflects how most magazines are typically stacked, and it draws in potential readers by showing the contents on the left side of the magazine.